NASCAR's lost teams, Sadler Brothers Racing. Sadler Brothers Racing is a former NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and ARCA Series race team that competed from 1984 through 2008, owned by father Earl Sadler and his son Chuck Sadler, never running a full schedule in any series. The Sadlers had 30 different drivers make starts for them between all the different series that they ran. Some of the more well-known drivers who have made starts for the team were Sterling Marlin, Davey Allison, Jeremy Mayfield, and David Ragan, along with several others. The Sadler Brothers Racing team made their NASCAR Cup Series debut in 1984 at Talladega Superspeedway in the spring, with Sterling Marlin behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Chevrolet. Making 12 starts throughout the '84 season, Marlin showed flashes of potential. His best start was 19th at Marlin's home track of Nashville Fairgrounds, and his best finish was 8th at Bristol in the fall. Overall, in 12 starts, Marlin scored 2 top 10s. Marlin returned to the number 95 Chevrolet in 1985, but this season he split the driving duties with Mike Alexander, making 11 starts between the two. Marlin made 7 starts behind the wheel of the Sadler's Auto Shack Native Tan number 95 Chevrolet. Then Alexander made 4 starts himself behind the wheel of the Sadler's number 95 Chevrolet. Alexander's best start was 13th, and his best finish was also 13th, both coming at Michigan in August. Overall, in 4 starts, Alexander scored 1 top 15 and 2 top 20s. In Marlin's 7 starts, his best start was 10th twice at both Talladega races. His best finish was 12th at Talladega in the summer. Overall, in 7 starts, Marlin scored 1 top 15 and 2 top 20s. The 1986 NASCAR Cup Series season saw Davey Allison make 6 Cup Series attempts, qualifying 4 times, behind the wheel of that number 95 Chevrolet. Allison's best start was 26th twice at Rockingham and Darlington in the spring. His best finish was 12th at Richmond in the spring. Overall, in 4 Cup Series starts, Allison scored 1 top 15 and 2 top 20s. Back in the Busch Series, now Xfinity Series side of things, Sadler Brothers Racing made their series debut, making 6 starts with Davey Allison behind the wheel of a number 95 Miller American Buick. Allison's best start was 2nd, and his best finish was 3rd, both coming at Charlotte in the spring. Overall, in 6 Xfinity Series starts, Allison scored 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s. After taking a year off from the NASCAR scene in 1987, Trevor Boyes made a one-off start for the team in 1988, behind the wheel of Sadler's number 95 Chevrolet at Daytona in the spring, starting 28th and finishing 19th. Boyes attempted the spring Talladega race, but he missed the field. Then later in the season, Slick Johnson, he made 5 attempts, but unfortunately, he DNQ'd every single attempt. In the ARCA Series, Slick Johnson made a one-off start for the Sadler brothers in 1989 at Atlanta in November, behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Chevrolet, starting 19th and finishing 10th. The Sadlers entered their number 95 Pontiac in the ARCA season opener, with Slick Johnson behind the wheel, starting the event from the back of the pack in 39th. Throughout the 80-lap event, Johnson worked his way up towards the front of the pack. With only a few laps left in the race, Johnson was involved in a horrific accident, so horrible that it injured 2 drivers, one of these drivers being Johnson. In fact, Johnson's injuries were so bad that he would be pronounced dead not long after. The team's number 95 and Johnson were awarded the 17th finishing position. Jeff Green made a one-off start in the team's number 95 Buick at Atlanta in November. Green started 13th and finished 6th. In 1991, Sadler Brothers Racing returned to the NASCAR Cup Series, making 3 starts with 2 different drivers. Eddie Birchwally made the first 2 starts during the 1991 season behind the wheel of that number 95 Texaco Chevrolet. His best start was 37th in Atlanta in the fall, and his best finish was 27th twice at Talladega and Atlanta in the fall. The other driver to make a start was Kerry Teague, who made a one-off start at Charlotte in the fall, behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Texaco and Power Up Oldsmobile, starting and finishing 37th. Back in the ARCA Series in '91, Ken Ragan, the father of David Ragan, made 6 attempts, qualifying 5 times, making 2 starts in the team's number 95 Chevrolet and 3 starts in their number 5 Buick. Ragan's best start was second at Talladega in the spring, and his best finish was second in Atlanta in the fall. Overall, in 5 ARCA starts, Ragan scored 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Starting in 1992, things began to slowly pick up for Sadler Brothers Racing Team, finally beginning to land some much-needed sponsor in Shoney's Inn and Glidden Paints. Bob Scat made 5 attempts, qualifying 4 times. Scat's best start was 31st at Talladega in the spring, and his best finish was 19th at Darlington in the spring. Overall, in 4 starts, Scat scored 1 top 20 finish. Jeremy Mayfield made a one-off start for the team in the season finale in Atlanta, driving that number 95 Shoney's Inn Oldsmobile, starting 6th and finishing 40th, following a lap 22 accident. For the 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season, Jeremy Mayfield made 4 attempts, qualifying once, at Charlotte in the fall, starting 30th and finishing 29th. The Sadler Brothers Racing operation ran the full ARCA Series schedule, with Jeremy Mayfield behind the wheel of their number 5 and number 95 Shoney's Inn Oldsmobile in 1993. The team ran the number 5 on the short tracks due to the fact that short track only racer Gary Hawes already had rights to the number 95 before Sadler Racing was ever even in existence. They were competitive all season, only finishing outside the top 25 times throughout the entire season. Mayfield's best start was first at DeQuinn in the fall, and his best finish was first at Flat Rock in June. The pole and victory were a first for both Sadler Brothers Racing and Jeremy Mayfield. Overall, in 19 starts, Mayfield scored 1 pole, 1 win, 8 top 5s, and 10 top 10s, finishing 4th in final ARCA Series point standings. In 1994, the Sadler Brothers Racing Team made 10 attempts between 2 different drivers. Jeremy Mayfield made 7 attempts, qualifying 4 times, behind the wheel of that number 95 Shoney's Inn Ford. Mayfield's best start was 11th at North Wilkesboro in the spring, and his best finish was 27th at Richmond in the spring. Jeff Green was the second driver to make starts in that number 95 Ford in '94, making 3 attempts and qualifying for 1 event. Green's best start was 5th, and his best finish was 29th. Down in the ARCA Series, Jeff Green made a one-off start in the Sadler's number 95 Shoney's Inn Ford at Atlanta in the fall, starting 10th and finishing 25th. Taking another season off from NASCAR in 1995, the Sadler Brothers Racing Team returned to the NASCAR Cup Series in 1996, making 18 attempts in their number 95 Shoney's Inn Ford. Chuck Bowen began the season behind the wheel of that number 95 Shoney's Inn Ford, attempting 6 events, qualifying for 3 races. Bowen's best start was 28th, and his best finish was 25th, both coming at Talladega in the spring. Bradbury made 12 attempts, qualifying 9 times. Bradbury's best start was 14th at Atlanta in the fall, and his best finish was 23rd at Talladega in the summer. After taking a year away from the ARCA Series, in 1996, the Sadler Brothers returned to the ARCA Series with Steve Clark behind the wheel of their number 95 Oldsmobile, entering back-to-back races at Charlotte Motor Speedway in May. Starting 22nd, both races, Clark's best finish was 18th in the first Charlotte race of the doubleheader. Gary Bradbury attempted to qualify for the first 2 races of the NASCAR Cup Series season in 1997, but he DNQ'd for both. The only other driver to spend time behind the wheel of the Sadler Brothers Racing number 95 Chevrolet was Ed Barrier in 1997, attempting 12 races, qualifying for 3 races. Ed Barrier's best start was 21st at Bristol in the late summer. His best finish was 23rd at Bristol in the spring. Steve Clark returned in 1997 to make another 4 ARCA Series starts, all behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Chevrolets. Clark's best start was 8th at Charlotte in the fall, and his best finish was 14th also at Charlotte, but in the spring race. Overall, in 4 ARCA Series starts, Clark scored 1 top 15 and 2 top 20s. Ed Barrier also made a one-off start for the Sadler Brothers Racing team at Gateway in the fall, behind the wheel of a number 90 Chevrolet, starting 7th and finishing 5th. The Sadler Brothers Racing final season in the NASCAR Cup Series came in 1998, when Andy Hillenberg made 4 attempts, qualifying once, in the 1998 Daytona 500, starting 18th and finishing 29th. Then the team dropped down to the NASCAR Xfinity Series to run a select schedule there. Bobby Hamilton Jr. made 3 attempts, qualifying twice. His best start was 19th, and his best finish was 20th, both coming in Atlanta in the fall. As for the ARCA side of the operation, they made 4 starts altogether, 3 with Bobby Hamilton Jr. and 1 with Andy Hillenberg. With Hamilton, they found on-track success immediately. Hamilton's best start was 1st, and his best finish was 2nd, both coming in Atlanta in the fall. Overall, in 3 ARCA Series starts, Hamilton scored 1 pole, 0 wins, 3 top 5s, and 3 top 10s. Andy Hillenberg made a one-off start at Daytona in the spring, behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Chevrolet, starting 11th and finishing 3rd. Hamilton Jr. returned to the team in 1999, making 10 attempts, qualifying 4 times. Hamilton Jr.'s best start was 6th at Daytona in the spring, and his best finish was 27th, twice, at Rockingham and Darlington in the spring. 4 different drivers made starts for the Sadler Brothers in the ARCA Series during the 1999 season. Bobby Hamilton Jr. made 3 attempts, qualifying twice. Hamilton Jr.'s best start was 12th, and his best finish was 3rd, both coming in Atlanta in the fall. Carl Long made 3 attempts, qualifying once at Toledo in the summer. Long started 7th and finished 13th. Joe Buford made a one-off start at Charlotte in the fall, behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Cholage Chevrolet, starting 18th and finishing 23rd. Kevin Ray made 2 starts near the end of the 1999 ARCA Series season, making both starts behind the wheel of the Sadler Brothers number 95 Chevrolet. Ray's best start was 17th at Atlanta in the fall, and his best finish was 29th at Talladega in the fall. The year 2000 saw the Sadler Brothers Racing number 95 Ford make more ARCA Series starts in a single season than they had since running the full schedule with Jeremy Mayfield back in 1993, making 9 starts in all, with David Keefe behind the wheel. His best start was 1st, twice, at Kentucky and Pocono in the summer. His best finish was 1st, also twice, at Daytona in the spring and Talladega in the fall. Overall, in 9 ARCA Series starts, David Keefe scored 2 poles, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 10s, finishing 25th in final ARCA Series point standings. Returning in 2001 was Sterling Marlin, making 7 starts behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Shoney's Inn Ford. Marlin's best start was 19th at Kentucky in the early summer. His best finish was also 19th, but this time at Michigan in August. In the ARCA Series in 2001, the team only had 2 drivers make starts for them. David Keefe qualified 5th at Daytona in the spring, but his car would not start on race morning, not allowing him to even pull off pit road, leaving him to finish dead last, 41st. Sterling Marlin made 2 starts, both behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Ford. Marlin's best start was 12th at Charlotte in the spring, and his best finish was 13th at Nashville Superspeedway in the spring. Returning to the Sadler's team once again in 2002, making 9 attempts, qualifying for 6 races. Marlin's best start was 20th in Nashville in the summer, and his best finish was 22nd in Kentucky in the summer. Down in the ARCA Series, the Sadlers only made a one-off start at Salem Speedway in the fall, with Jerry Cobble behind the wheel of their number 95 Ford, starting 2nd and finishing 10th. David Keefe made 6 attempts between 2003 and 04, all behind the wheel of that number 95 Ford. Keith's best start was 27th at Daytona in the summer of 03. His best finish was 19th at Talladega in the spring of 04. Making another one-off start in the ARCA Series in 2003, with David Keefe behind the wheel of the team's number 95 Ford. at Nashville Superspeedway, starting 5th, even leading 3 laps, before a valve spring issue ended their race early on lap 63, forcing a 34th place finish. David Ragan made 2 attempts, qualifying once at Homestead in the fall of 04, starting 36th and finishing 31st. In 2005, Bobby Hamilton made 5 starts behind the wheel of that number 95 Dodge. Hamilton's best start was 14th and his best finish was 6th, both coming at Nashville Fairgrounds. Overall, in 5 starts, Hamilton scored 1 top 10, 2 top 15s, and 3 top 20s. Joe Ruttman also made a one-off start at Talladega in the spring, driving the team's number 95 Dodge, starting 13th and finishing 29th. As the Sadler Brothers Racing team began to wind things down as far as their run in NASCAR in 2006, Sterling Marlin made 6 attempts, qualifying 4 times. Marlin's best start was 17th at Daytona in the summer, and his best finish was 29th at Talladega in the spring. The final season that the Sadler Brothers Racing team made any ARCA Series starts was in 2007, making starts with 2 different drivers. Brian Cones made a one-off start at Daytona in the spring, behind the wheel of a number 8 Dodge. Cones started 16th and finished 37th, following a lap 35 accident. Blake Feast was the other driver to make starts for the team in their number 8 and their number 95 Dodges throughout the 2007 season. Feast's best start was 7th, and his best finish was 3rd, both coming at Kansas in the spring. Overall, in 4 starts, Feast scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s. Last but certainly not least, Willie Allen made the last 2 starts for the Sadler Brothers Racing team in 2008. Allen's best start was 23rd, and his best finish was 29th, both coming in the Xfinity Series season opener in Daytona. Following their final start, Sadler Brothers Racing would close down their NASCAR operation. So, in 57 NASCAR Cup Series starts, Sadler Brothers Racing scored 2 top 10s, with the best points finish at 35th by Mike Alexander in 1985. In 45 Xfinity Series starts, the team scored 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s, with the best points finish at 29th by Davey Allison in 1986. In 65 ARCA Series starts, Sadler Brothers Racing scored 4 poles, 3 wins, 22 top 5s, and 31 top 10s, with the best points finish of 4th in 1993 by Jeremy Mayfield. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.